Does safety feel foreign? Have you been in fight or flight mode for so long that you don't remember what it's like to not be afraid, to not be running away, or not be totally on guard, ready to fight in every moment? Do you find yourself arguing against yourself on everything that you want to do or even need to do because all you can see is all the ways that it won't work? Let's look at that and let's talk about really truly being safe today. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I'm a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 39 books and counting. I help folks write, publish, market their books to bestseller and everything that goes beyond that. But more than that, and in reality, what I really do is I'm your catalyst, your transformational architect to help you be able to get clear so that you absolutely can and will make the impact and the difference in this world that you were meant to make. I've been honored with the 5,000 people that I've worked with on their books, and it's been a privilege to help people outline their marketing and who they are and help them really truly know themselves. And I love doing that. But more than anything, what I want to do today is I want to be here to help you truly understand what it means to be clear, and even more than that, what it means to truly be safe. Can you live in a safe space, in a place where that fight or flight isn't the only reality that you live in, but rather you also have the times when you feel peace and safety? I keep using that word because let's face it, a lot of times we don't feel safe. A lot of times we don't really feel like it's okay. And even as I invite people to come to our event or to our talk here today, I want you to know that the person more than anything that I'm talking to, those are members of my team and support people that are there for me, but I'm really thinking about you. And maybe I know your name, or maybe we've never met before. Both of those are pretty cool. I'm going to take a second and I'm going to use the little special secret tricky mechanism I have to use here now to be able to get my phone to shush on us, so that I can really focus on you. If you could see how janky this is, you would just totally laugh. But I don't want the phone to distract us this whole time. I want to really zero in on your safety. Because often safety becomes that kind of thing that it's like a myth. It's like it doesn't exist. Right? It's like you sit there and you think of something that you've made up. Sometimes we do that in our lives, right? Sometimes we go back and we rewrite our own history. And we make ourselves the hero of our own story sometimes, or sometimes we make ourselves the victim in our own stories. It doesn't really matter which direction you go with it. Sometimes that's where we are, right? We have written this personal story and we've told ourselves all these things. But really, when we think of times in our past where we were quote unquote safe, those start feeling more like mythology. Like if Odin or Thor, or, if you go Greek gods, if Zeus or Apollo came and knocked on your front door and you knew they were them, you wouldn't even be as shocked about that. I said at one point during COVID, if an alien landed on with as crazy as things were there for a while, if an alien landed a spacecraft on your front yard and came and knocked on your door, you wouldn't have even been shocked. The world was just kind of that way. And sometimes when we look at something that should be so basic, so normal, so just part of normal vernacular. I mean, one of the biggest things in culture these days is a safe space, right? But how many people really feel safe in a safe space? And if they really felt safe, why would they need safe spaces at work or in their house or what have you? Safety is an internal, it's an emotional situation. It's how you think in your head, all that crazy stuff going on in there, how you feel in your heart, and what you process it with your gut. And we may go into the safe space. We may do the meditative processes or, say our prayers or uh, sing music or, any of the other things that you can do that are supposed to help you move into safety. I mean, I know the psychological premise of the fact, and it's very true, you can't be in service and in fear or lack or all the other negative emotions, fear, anger, those kind of things. You can't be in those at the same time. They're opposite ends of your brain. And we just don't have the capability to be in service, to be truly focused on. Now, we can be serving and doing things, but we're doing it with less than half of our heart. It's a rote memory process versus it being something that is really, truly the heart and soul and core of who we are. We're not giving our all in service. We're just showing up. We can hang on to the guilt, the fear, the anger in those situations. But if we focus ourselves completely, 100% on just how can I help you today? Showing up, being in service, doing the thing, right? If we are in that place, the others, we just can't hold on to it because our mind goes to the other thing. And that's the way that our brains are designed. So we can conversely go into the safe space and spend the whole time in there worrying, fretting, angry, running through our minds, defending ourselves in that space. And we don't really actually feel really truly safe. Right? I know you know what I mean. Even when we look back at some of the things we talked about last week, about being in bed with the covers over our head, in full armor with our invisibility cloak on or our invisibility shield on or whatever. Even in those places, let's face it, we stayed there because we didn't feel safe. It was an unreal safety that we pulled over ourselves to con ourselves into believing that we were safe. And yes, Patricia, that's before we even get into those people that create safety and, oh, you'll be safe with me. Oh, let me take care of you. And I'm not saying there aren't really some really good people in there that really can make you feel safe, happy, and loved. There are definitely people like that in the world. But sometimes that's a red flag. You're absolutely right. Sometimes that's the trick of a narcissist to draw you in. Most abusers do a really good job of making a person feel extremely safe and okay. And you pull further and further and deeper into their world until they've got you isolated from everybody else. And they often umbrella it in the tone of keeping you safe and in loving you and protecting you. And all the good things that somebody who really truly does love you would just do naturally. First of all, they don't have to tell you about it. A strong person doesn't have to tell you they're strong. In fact, a strong person doesn't care if you think they're weak. Strength shows up. It doesn't brag about itself. Confidence is just being confident. It's not about telling people about how confident you are. And so, yeah, when I say the word safety, it immediately triggers some of you. So, I mean, it could be, yes, it's a foreign concept, just like safety doesn't even exist. Something we made up as kids. When we were in bed with the covers over our head, safe from the monsters, that was, what safety was. And it was really an illusion. And the more that we went out into the world, the more we discovered that it was all just a bunch of BS. That's how it feels sometimes, isn't it? I would love to hear sometime what some of your wild ideas about what safety meant were. Because safety is one of those kind of things that you know it when you know it. Now, we can be deluded. We can let the wool be pulled over our eyes, and we can be lured in. All of us have had it happen to us, so this is no judgment. But somewhere in that process, what we always know at some point in there was something that was a red flag. And unfortunately, what we got really, really good at doing was talking ourselves out of those. Whether it be as simple as, and this is kind of trite, and I apologize, ladies, but it's been said too often for it to not be, one of those things that gets brought up. But that concept of, but he has so much potential. The phrase, but he has so much potential, should be a red flag. And it's somebody else who's not enmeshed in the situation that said something to you, that pointed out something that was real, that the only defense you had for that was potential. They could be. And I'm not saying they couldn't be. They absolutely can be. And all the potential that you see in the person, absolutely. But here's the thing, and if we're talking specifically relationally, which I wasn't intending to go down, but it seems like that's the road that we need to go down, at least for a little bit here. We have all these lies that have been told to us. You've got phrases like from the movie Jerry Maguire, you complete me. Oh, doesn't that feel good? You know? And we have phrases like that that make us be not a whole person without the other person. And in reality, in truth, we can't really ever be whole unless we be whole. No one else can fill in. There is no other missing puzzle piece for the 100% whole you. Okay, now stick with me because I'm not dissing relationships. They are powerful, impactful, and necessary in our lives. Absolutely. And wholeness is really the wrong kind of word, really, because wholeness really is more about being in an ever intentional growth cycle, being the best you that you can be today, being aware of your faults, being aware of your successes, being able to compliment yourself for the things that you do right, and being able to just call yourself on the things that you didn't do right. That is health, being healthy, showing up in the world. Now, when two healthy people get together to enhance one another's lives, to 100% people, and again, by 100%, I mean being the best you that you can be during this day that's called today, with intention, and knowing that you're going to go in tomorrow and you're going to do the same. Being able and willing to be able to say, hey, I blew it, and ask for forgiveness, and then move on. Not living in the fault and the guilt and all of that. And also not living in a place where somebody's holding something that you've legitimately apologized for over you. None of those are health. But when we learn how to let the things that were in the past go, apologize for the things we need to, but then let them go and show up as the best us as we can today, and we find somebody else. And this applies both in friendships as well as in romance and relationships, in romantic relationships. When we find a person that is that person and we're not latching on to them for us to be somehow then completed. If I bring this person into my life, then I will be whole. It's not going to help. All you're going to do is just hit against each other. So instead of meshing like two hands, you hit like two fingertips hitting against each other. Like, have you ever gone to shake somebody's hand and you kind of, miss, and it's like one of those really weird, awkward kind of handshakes, and you kind of walk away going, oh my gosh, they must think I'm a total weirdo. Shaking hands should be a really, easy thing, but, sometimes it just isn't. And we want to mesh together. Not so that we fill the gaps of one another, but so that we take our 100% and their 100%. Since I've defined those both for you a couple of times now, and we come together, the exponential explosion, 100 plus 100 in that case, makes infinity. It makes zillions. It's unfathomable and unlimited what two people at that point can do together. Yeah, you go for the fist bump and then they switch and then you switch and it just becomes this really weird, awkward thing. It's kind of like that, when, the whole bro hug thing where, you like do your hand like this and then you pull it in and then you put your hand around and you kind of do a hug thing too. And I remember the first time somebody did that with me and it was just so weird and so awkward. I get it now, but I didn't know that's what we were doing. There should be like a sign or, something that tells you now we're going to be doing this kind of thing, right? That complements of one another versus completion of one another. That's what we're looking for. And we absolutely do need it. And the safety isn't found in them. We should feel safe with them, but not in them. Or don't go to Italy and get kissed by everybody. It just really kind of depends on how much kissing you want to do. Do you understand what I'm saying now? We should be safe with them, but not in them. Our safety should not be dependent whatsoever on someone or something else. Safety is an internal. It's your thought process, your feelings, your gut is really truly safety. And the best time to act on that feeling of not feeling safe is immediately. It's the first time. It's that first pang. Not the, oh, but he's got such potential. Oh, but she's so beautiful. That's kind of the two sides of the coin, women. Okay, so, I see it. Guys, we're all visual creatures, and they're like, yeah, she's a completely worthless individual, but she's just drop dead gorgeous. So, nothing else matters. She has no value whatsoever in the world, but, she's nice to look at. That's our side of the coin, girls. Okay, so you see, I do see that we have just as big, if not bigger, of a flaw. Not picking on you. And so this word safety gets thrown away. It gets thrown around constantly. Oh, you'll be safe with me. Oh, I feel so safe with them. This is a safe space. We just use that word to the point where we've hammered it to death. I'm in the middle of writing a song, and I'm struggling with the verses because it's a love song. But in the verses, what keeps coming up for me, and I don't know that this is really what the direction I want the song to go, but what keeps coming up for me is that whole concept of how flippant the words I love you are these days. You know, you tell your friends I love you. You tell your dog I love you. You tell your plants I love you. You know, you walk away from a near stranger and you say, love you, right? And it loses all the meaning of I love you. So anyway, you know, I mean, I'm trying to capture that spirit of that, so that then can couple with the saying of the chorus, may I have forever to love you, and may I have forever to show that I do, because I'm going to spend forever loving you. Love should be the easiest thing in the world. Safe should be the most natural place that we all live in. And both of them, you know, are just totally foreign concepts. Beyond, you know, Greek and Latin words for them, and all the different nuances to them, or all the different psychological parameters for them, or all those kind of things. They just seem empty and hollow. I love it. If you've ever seen the Steve Martin movie Roxanne, it's basically Cyrano de Bergerac redone, and you know, in a comedy version that he did in the late '80s, early '90s. You know, and he talks about, how do I use the words? They've been all used up by the shampoo commercials. How can I love a shampoo? How can I love a bar of soap? Right? And we feel that same way when I say to you, you know, we've created the authority visibility, the visibility amplifier community for you as a safe space that you can come in and you can learn how to be visible and valuable. And you're like, oh, it's not one of those safe spaces. All right, thanks, but no thanks, right? You get invited to be a part of, you know, a group, or you get invited to go to, you know, a free training. And because we've destroyed safety, what do we think? I wonder if these people are going to take advantage of me in the group and steal my stuff like they did in the last group. And then they become my competitors. We think to ourselves, I wonder how long it'll be in this supposedly teaching workshop before they start pitching me on their product. I wonder if I'll even learn anything. And then, you know, and then we move into the $99, the $197 programs, you know, with these giant promises. Pay $197 and we'll make you a multimillionaire next week. I saw one literally on Facebook a couple of days ago that was like, use our program and write your entire book. No, it wasn't even a book. Write your bestseller using AI and be a bestseller today. Now, some of you know I've done that, you know, like 5,000 times. I can tell you, you know, algorithmically, it's impossible. If you wrote your entire book today, you couldn't make it a bestseller on Amazon today as well. I don't care if you get a bazillion sales today, you won't be officially a bestseller today. It's just not possible. The statistics on Amazon don't update that quick. So when the person is promising us something that the people in the know is a lie, how do we feel safe? Why does safe feel so weird and so awkward when it should be so easy and so normal and so natural? And it's really easy to just have done like we've done: hide, repel, pull back, not use words like I love you or safe. because they trigger us, so why would they trigger everybody else? But what if you could be safe? What if safety does really still exist? What if there is an environment that rather than being a cocoon you hide in, is more of a set of wings that you soar above with? All I'm asking you today, we're going to be talking about safety all week. And all I'm asking you today is, are you open to the possibility that we could find a place for you where you could truly find safe? Really see it play out and live and be in reality. Are you open to allowing in that to be a possibility again? That's all I'm asking of you today, is just to crack open that little bit and be willing to contemplate the possibility that you could be safe again. Is that fair? Now, some of you, you're the hard charger fast movers. Just like, last week when we were taking the armor off, as soon as I mentioned the possibility of taking your armor off, you just ripped it all off and ran naked in the streets. When I talked about being, going live and being visible, I said, pick up your phone, go live and say blah, blah, blah. Say, hi, my name is, and what I do is, and what I'd really like to tell you today is, you turned off the, me going live and you just went on and you were just, here I am, blah, 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 you just did it. And others of you, we came all the way to Saturday, the Saturday that we jumped off the cliff and soared as an eagle, the Saturday that we sat in a place with no need for any armor, any cloak of invisibility, anything. We could just be out in the world. Our shield was there if we need to block things, but we could just put it down at our side. Our sword was sheathed. It's there to pull out and defend and to, shine truth on things when needed, but we were really truly in that place. And some of you were still in bed with the covers over your head. I get it. For some of you now, when we're looking at being open to be safe, you're like, yes. And you want to come right now, immediately to visibilityamplifier.com and join us. You want to drop the word safe in the messages right now, or send me a DM if you're a step or two behind that. And let's talk about the clarity that will create safety for you. See, those two go together too. We've got our 3 C's: connection, consistency, and clarity. And we've talked about how connection is where your heart is. Do you want to connect? Consistency is about how you show up. Clarity is the skill you need to learn. And we've talked about how clarity comes from feeling truly safe. But feeling truly safe comes from clarity too. They go hand in hand together as well. And we can put you in a kind, gentle, supportive, loving situation where we can help you find your clarity and find a safe space that allows you to then develop that clarity to really, truly a powerful message that's driven from your passion and your purpose and the real you that is you. Some of you, that sounds enticing already and you want to go into it. For many of you, what resonates with you right now is, yeah, safety feels like a foreign word. And I'm encouraging you, if you're willing to take another step forward, if you're not at the point yet where you want to put the word safe in the comments or in a direct message to me, I encourage you to come back with us tomorrow. Just open your mind up to the possibility that safe could be for real and not some kind of crazy narcissistic thing where I'm just trying to trick you into my space. Because I'll tell you right up front, yes, I have programs that I would love you to be part of. But I'm going to be the first person to tell you, no, you actually need Patricia's program. Not so that Patricia will pay me an affiliate commission. I've never even worked out that kind of a situation with her. But because I want you to find what you need. And I've invited members of people that are in essentially my digital virtual Rolodex to just be in there. And if they've got stuff that can help you, I'm glad for that. And all I'm asking of you today, even if that still feels like a foreign term, like safe, I must be saying ausgezeichnet, which, by the way, is German word for excellent, in case you're wondering, and you don't think I just sweared at you. But I may as well have just been using some made-up word. That's what safe feels like to you right now. I'm asking you to, number one, take the journey with us this week. And number two, just allow yourself today to contemplate the possibility that there could be some such a thing as a real safe place. And then we'll get together again tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit deeper about it. I can even look, because I've got this whole week slated out. Look at me, I'm getting all prepared and organized and stuff. Safety isn't the absence of fear, it's the presence of support. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And I invite you to come join us. We'll take this journey together. And before you know it, you'll actually remember that there was a word and a time and a place where you were truly safe. And that's what I want for you. In the meantime, my wish for you always is that you are happy, safe, warm, and loved. That you get exactly what you need out of today. That you know that you're not alone, that we're here with you. And then until we're together again next time, which, by the way, is tomorrow, in case you don't know exactly when next time is. I hope you have an amazingly great week.